Hi students, it's nice to see you today. Today we're going to talk about the different verb tenses. I know you've already studied these in English. This is to give you a review or a reminder. You need to know how to use these verbs 90% of the time correctly by the time you leave our course. In the table, you'll notice the name of the verb tense, what it looks like, when we use it, and an example of its use. You'll notice some of the time signal words we use with each one. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different verb tenses. I know it's a lot, but every one is very specific, okay? So it'll take us maybe 4 minutes to go through this. Let's see if I can do it. Again, I trust you've already studied most of these. You might not know exactly the difference between will and going to. You might not be sure about past perfect, but I'm thinking you've studied the rest of these pretty well. Okay? So just relax, just listen. Here we go. So simple present, I study, you don't study, he studies, she doesn't study, is the thing to describe what we regularly do. So if it's every day on Mondays in the morning, it's the same again and again and again and again, like our schedule. Next is present continuous. You're going to learn something surprising here. He is going out, I am working, they aren't going out. It's to describe what's happening right now and to describe a future plan. I am meeting my friend tonight. I am going to the doctor tomorrow. So the simple present continuous can be used to talk about your future plan. In this way, it's like going to. I am going to see my mother tomorrow. I am seeing my mother tomorrow. Simple past, it means it started and stopped in the past. He went out, he didn't stay home. I went out, I didn't stay home. So it's to describe an action that starts and stops in the past. That's how it's different from present perfect. Simple past, it started in the past and it stopped in the past. I lived in Japan in 1986. I don't live there now, and I told you in 1986. I told you the time. So common words are last night, last week, last night, a few days ago, in 2015. Okay, that's different from present perfect. Present perfect means it started in the past and it continues now, or present perfect to describe an action that happened in the past, but you don't say when it happened. The minute you say in 1985, you have simple past. If it started in the past, if it happened in the past and ended in the past, it's an experience. Don't say when, you just say before. Okay? For example, I haven't talked to my mom for a few days. That means for a few days, maybe 5 days, no talking, no talking, no talking, no talking. Today, no talking. Now, no talking. I haven't talked to my mom for a few days. You have gone to Europe before. I use present perfect here, but I'm just using the word before. Okay, it means sometime in your life. So anytime you want to say sometime in my life, sometime in her life, you just say before. So I have seen a shark before. I have swum with a shark next to me. I have seen a ghost before. I have slept outside before. These are experiences I have had. So our key word is, if I want to use present perfect for the past, all I can use is before, and it means experience. It happened to me before. Or I use since plus a time, like since 2009, or for with a number, like for 5 days, for 6 days, for 7 days, for a few days. So you'll notice with for, we often have an S for 6 months. Now moving on to past perfect, this means there were 2 things that happened in the past. One happened before, this is a bad thing. That's not going to work. One event happened first, and then another event happened later. So I hadn't eaten sushi until I went to Japan. I hadn't eaten sushi and then I went to Japan. I hadn't eaten sushi before I went to Japan. So it usually shows a change that occurred in the past. So let's look here. I hadn't studied English until I came to the US. You hadn't gone swimming in the sea before you were 10 years old. So past perfect is to describe one action that happened before another action in the past. We use past perfect to show change. So some of the key words are until, before, and then. Just remember, two actions that happened in the past that show a change. Okay, past continuous. That means you were doing something and something interrupted you. I was watching TV when, boom, my son came in the room. Oh, I use that. I was watching TV when my son asked me to cook dinner. You were doing your homework when your friend came over. So we use the past continuous to describe what we were doing when something interrupted us. And the keywords are when and while. Again, I know you've studied this one. You must remember to use the ing, and you must remember that when you have past continuous, somewhere is going to be simple past right there. Okay, I understand this is a new one here. Two events that started and stopped in the past. This one might be a new one in terms of you have gone to Europe before, you have seen a shark before, you have eaten sushi before. That just means sometime in your life. So that might be new. This one might be new, and we will study this one again in the future. Okay, that one. Okay, simple future. This one is different from going to. Will go, going to go, very different. There's 3 times I use the simple future. We use the simple future to 1, make promises. I will call you when I get home. I promise. I will do my homework. I promise. I will pass my test. I promise. And when we make a sudden decision, bring, bring, bring. Oh, I will answer the phone. I will get the baby. So when you fast make a decision about the future, you use will. Or to make a prediction. Oh, I look at your hand. Oh, you will get married next year. Oh, you will have 5 children. Oh, you will live in a big house. That means make a prediction. So I would say, I will call you when I get home. I'll answer the door and you will pass the class. Going to, on the other hand, is a plan. It's very similar, maybe the same as they aren't going out tonight. They don't have a plan. I am working tomorrow. He is going out tomorrow. That's the same as saying, I'm going to eat a hamburger for dinner. I am eating a hamburger for dinner. It's my plan. I already have it written down. 1, eat hamburger for dinner. 2, clean the house. 3, grade my students' papers. That's my plan. So I use it as a plan. I say, I am going to eat a hamburger for dinner. My son is going to go to bed early. Maybe he has a plan. I'm telling you my son's plan. We use future with going to describe our plans. And so I'll have the same future days, tonight, in a few days, next week, tonight, in a few days, next week. Okay, so some of this is new, and we will study it in more detail in another unit. But right now, we're just looking at the big picture to see the differences between the verb tenses. How many verb tenses do we have to learn for this level? How many? I think almost all of them. Let's look. Let's count them again. Simple present for routines. That's 1. Present continuous for right now or a future plan. 2. Simple past, it started and stopped in the past. 3. Present perfect From the past until now or a past experience, 4. Past perfect, the past before the past, 5. Past continuous, doing something interrupted, 6. Simple future with will, 7. And future with going to, 8. I think that you're going to learn these really fast and use them smoothly and fluently. You have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.